to its first WNBA game.
Two-time National Player of the Year at Iowa.
Howard, the three-time champion, gets things started for Indiana.
Well, that's what Stephanie White alluded to when she was discussing with us prior to the game. She said, we have bolstered our roster with vets, and not only that, championship vets. And you love to see Duana Bonner on this team as well.
Here's Syke. Mid-range jumper. That's off the mark. Loose ball collected by Lexi Hull. It's Hull, Boston, Howard, Colson getting the start for Clark, and Mitchell, the starters for Indiana. Here's Colson. Behind the back, pull-up jumper, gets it to go. Oh, my goodness. Don't do it to him early, Sid.
That was left crisscross and all of that. But Sydney Colson, Stephanie White, the head coach for Indiana, she said we get a little smaller starting Sid instead of there and disallow Indiana's opportunities to run in the open court.
Sutton doing a good job tying up Colson there, coming up with it here. Citron. Three doesn't go. Dolson fighting for that offensive board, gets it. Iriafen streaking the defense, gets that to go.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about, and that's why that's one of the keys. Although Steph Dolson didn't score that because of the second and third efforts on the O boards, and that's what Washington needs.
Mitchell picked up by Sykes. 6 on the shot clock now, 4 seconds. Colson lets it fly. That one does not go as Citron, with the rebound.
Washington did a great job defensively there.
And that pass to Foose because of it.
So stay active on those cuts to the rim, and great things happen for your team.
Sykes, jumper. Does not go. Boston with the rebound. I'm very excited about that Boston-Iriafen matchup. Mitchell showing the speed. Slim showing the defense, rejecting that out of here. Here's Sutton, back the other way. Sutton playing through contact, does not go. Loose ball collected by Howard.
Goodbye.
Up the floor, Hull taken away though by Sutton, playing safety.
The defense for Washington, especially for them being a young team. Steph White said it doesn't matter how young they are. They're hoopers, they're ball players. And they are fierce competitors as we've seen early in this one.
Iriafen off 1 foot, does not get the bounce on that. Howard collecting the rebound. Boston trying to go backdoor to Mitchell. Crowded by Dolson. Here's Howard now. Baseline jumper, doesn't go. Iriafen the rebound.
Right place, right time on that weak side. 70% of shots come off on the weak side of the rim. Iriafen positioned herself properly there, and that's why she's been able to have 4 consecutive double-doubles this season as a rookie.
Citron. And
looked like it was a pull-the-chair situation by Lexi Hull. And here's this vicious block by Brittany Sykes. Says, not today, not in Baltimore, not in the DMV, not anywhere. And then the steal by Shug Sutton, just playing great.
In between Howard and Colson, Iriafen came up with it for Washington. Cross court, Dolson steps into one. Boston the rebound.
Well, last year, Steph Dolson shot 47% from 3 as the whistle is blown, trying to reset the clock here.
The shot clock didn't move at all. So Claire Aubrey will check it with the scores table, along with Roy Galbayan and Jeffrey Smith, our officials this season.
Amount of weapons from range. A lot of threats.
Jeffrey Smith initially thought it was a backcourt violation, but Claire Aubrey corrected, saying they started it in the backcourt, so it wasn't a violation.
Washington has done a good job, even without Caitlin Clark being on the floor. The short roll actions that Indiana likes to run, they're still there.
Hull in the corner, gets back to go.
And that's what Stephanie White was discussing prior to the game. She says we can set up our three-point threats in different ways without Caitlin Clark being on the floor. And that was a great example of that. Dolson enforcing that charge to be called on Big Mama Steph inside on the previous defensive possession for Indiana.
Edwards. Now Melbourne, 8 on the shot clock for Washington. Melbourne, little hesitation into the paint. Doesn't go. Edwards is there for the cleanup. Left that short as Colson now controls for Indiana.
Well, Howard was right there being a shadow defensively and kind of changed the mechanics for Aaliyah Edwards, second-year player out of UConn.
Boston is fouled, as they call that, on Iriafen. Boston will head to the...
Well, that has been a major discussion by Steph White, and she just wants things to be consistently called, right? And not just for her team, but just across the board. She's not asking for favors, she's just asking for consistency. But you have to get downhill, and she feels that they have been doing that, but have not been rewarded with getting themselves to the line. So you're right. Here, South Carolina Gamecocks won a championship during her tenure there for Dawn Staley. On the professional level, I mean, she's just been masterful with what she's been able to do offensively, 61% from the floor.
Howard floater does not go. Citron the rebound. Shakira Austin making her return to the lineup for Washington. Here she is with a quick touch. Tries to go inside against Boston, cut off, gets it to Edwards. Now Melbourne attacking, goes to Austin in the paint. Austin will head to the free throw line.
Leah Boston initially had done a really good job staying in front of Shakira Austin this season.
Austin gets the first one.
Protocol situation that she was dealing with, and she said she just wants to be healthy this year. Just kind of running in the mud. To see her back on the court, Washington, with a lot of young energy on the inside on their roster.
Boston kicks it. Colson three. Does not go. Howard fighting for that rebound as Boston came up with it. Mitchell attacking. Kicks it. Colson touch to Hull. Inside. Howard gets it off the window.
Oh, it was that little hesitation by the vet. Oh, what a fantastic Howard. She was walled up nicely by Edwards, but then had a little shiftiness to get her by on that baseline side of the floor.
Indiana shooting 44% here in the early going of the first quarter as Austin gets that to go. Cuts it to a 4-point lead for Indiana. Colson quickly back.
I like the ISO game, getting those players activated early in the paint.
Mitchell kicks it. Boston. Cross court. Howard. Pull-up jumper. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Austin. Sykes quickly up the floor. Citron pushing. Gets the layup.
I mean, that was just incredibly smooth. Sonia Citron with that waitress serving up a meal on a platter right there in the open floor. Beautiful.
Colson, nice drop off to Howard as she gets the drop. Howard, a great start here. 6 points early on.
A lot of them have been in that painted area, and they have to just disallow and disrupt her off-ball movement and keep her off the offensive glass.
6 points in the paint for Indiana. Here's Austin attacking. Comes right back in the paint.
Super aggressive move there by Shakira downhill. Playing with a lot of force on the court, and they have missed that.
I like the decisiveness on that end of the floor.
She's very tough.
Hull jumper, rebounded by Sykes. Sykes surveying, slow walking it, and a whistle and a foul going to be called on Colson.
Pace of play, right? Space and pace for the Washington Mystics. 8 of their 10 points, Megan, have been in the fast break situation. So how do you get activated in the fast break? Very well. And this is an Indiana team that rebounds incredibly well, especially on the offensive side. They're second in the league.
Citron came up with a miss from Melbourne. Dewana Bonner, Sophie.
Want to step on toes, being this 15-year vet.
Howard. Engsler got a piece of that one, but Howard the putback.
And her second jump is so tough. It has been a thorn in the side of the Washington Mystics early on in this game.
8 points, 5 rebounds for Howard, to your point, Christy. She has the last 6 for Indiana. That one hung on the rim and finally drops.
That was the draft from the... Somebody opened the door, a little draft came in from the harbor and dropped that one home. Oh, my goodness. How dramatic was that?
Bonner pump fake. And Dewana Bonner going to head to the free throw line. Emily Engsler get whistled for the infraction.
Sonia Sitch right there inside. Right there at the cup.
Bonner gets with this Fever team. You add that into it, and you mentioned Steph White didn't want to just add anybody in veterans. They wanted to add that championship mentality.
Winners and great leaders, because they understand what they have to do to prepare to win. It's not just about the games. It's what are you doing on a daily basis to stack days and remain locked in and focused.
Edwards spins off Howard, sticks with it, and is going to head to the free. The foul called on Natasha Howard as Aaliyah Edwards
roster after missing the first 4 games with the back injury, and so to have her back, I love to see her force that both players play with. And Sydney Johnson has said the versatility when they're both on the floor on the defensive end is something that he wants to see more of.
Howard going against Edwards, and they're going to say too many steps.
Mom's favorite player. Well, she loves all of them, but she said, let me know when Deladon comes back to a game. I'm coming to that one.
Olsen, Iriafen attacking. Iriafen gets that off the window. Tied at 16.
Well, she just has incredible footwork, right? She understands where and when to attack, and that one was executed to perfection.
Bonner works off Boston. Little hesitation, gets to the hoop, lays that up and in.
Weak side a little bit late. Emily Engsler was the rotate.
Engsler off the screen from Melbourne, gets that to go. Answers back.
Bonner wanted a foul on that screen to Engsler for that triple. The 3-point percentage contest, if you will, last year for all WNBA players, 47.5% for all.
This is the Mystics' first lead of the ball game since it was early on, and automatically DeWanna Bonner shows why she was added to.
She was slow out of the gate, 0 for 7, matter of fact, in the last 3. After 2 for 9 in the opener.
Austin going against Hull, left that short. Shot clock turned off. Indiana can play for the final shot as Bonner slows it down.
He was definitely that on the last possession for the Fever.
6 seconds to go in the quarter. Cunningham got behind the defense, misses the layup, but will head to the free throw line as Austin will get called for the foul.
And basketball acumen by DeWanna Bonner. And if you're Shakira Austin, how do you, so that pass can't go?
Play the angles is what I'm hearing from you.
All the angles. All of them.
Olsen, 2 seconds, lets it fly. Does not go as the first quarter comes to an end. And the Fever take a 23. As the Mystics with first possession, Dolson and Sykes back into the ballgame. Austin down low, gets that off the window against Boston.
Paint points are going to be a premium, and that's where the battle is going to be won or lost in this game. Also, I had that number 2 circled after that first quarter, so taking care of the basketball a lot better and scoring in the paint.
Bonner, foul line jumper goes, soft touch.
As always, DeWanna Bonner. I cannot believe she's been in the league 15 years, but she has just been so steady and fierce with how she approaches the game every single day and night.
Austin tried to go back toward a Melbourne, threw it off of the foot of Cunningham. Cunningham lost the ball. Here's Sykes, who loses the handle on that one.
Citron was on that left corner, salivating for a catch-and-shoot Fever. Good job by Jade Melbourne to snake herself through and stay aggressive on Sophie Cunningham.
And an offensive foul called on Sophie Cunningham.
And that is and Jade Melbourne, she's a dog, especially on the defensive side. She takes so much pride in getting stops like that. I'd love to see it from young players.
Austin fading off 1 foot. What a touch.
Not the one-legged fader. Shakira Austin with the flick of the wrist. Sticks. And again, her presence has been missed.
Bonner, too strong on that. Rebounded by Dolson up the floor. Citron able to collect. Bobbles it. And now Sykes. Tried to go to Dolson, taken away by Cunningham.
Cunningham sniffed that out on that weak side. Came for the interception.
Mitchell attacking, kicks it. Bonner. Back with Mitchell. Boston, nice seal inside, gets behind the defense, puts it up and in.
Well, that was so tough because it looked like Shakira Austin on his teammate. You got to get there like your hair's on fire and try to wall up because Leah Boston shoots it at a 61% clip. She's not going to miss those in there.
Melbourne lobs it into Dolson. Dolson with the sock touch off the window.
Big mama step with some great mitts right there. Falling out of managed to get that bucket to drop. Speaking of leadership, Slim and Steph for Washington, they have been so good at sharing what it takes to continue to build this young team, but it's also been on the wing, and they love to run that slip cut as well from the slot extended just outside the lane line.
And asked them to look at that because Mitchell looked like she was bleeding from the face and kind of like lobbied for it.
Yeah.
And I asked Steph White, you know, the silver lining of this injury, and she said she's going to see the coaches to hear those conversations as well. You've covered Caitlin Clark. She has a high IQ. What does this do for her?
Well, it's probably killing her to be sitting over there. I talked to her a little bit before the game, and she said, it's just unfortunate I can't play.
Austin with the jumper. She's on a heater right now.
She is, but Caitlin Clark said, it's unfortunate I can't play, but I'll be back soon enough. But the way she said that, her top lip, Megan, was rolled up, and she wants to be out there competing with her teammates for sure. But it does teach her patience, but it does teach her that she has to be 100% healthy to be able to go.
Dantis 3 doesn't go. Fighting for the loose ball rebound is Sykes and Cunningham. Cunningham going to get whistled for the foul. 5 of 6 shooting, 12 points. Shakira Austin off the bench.
Yeah, I love that. But you learn a lot. Shakira Austin missed some games. You were talking about Caitlin Clark missing some games. You learn a lot when you sit and watch because your mind is operating not do it.
Mitchell attacking, gets it over Austin and the foul.
Down to this game, averaging just under 18 a game. Knocking in her triples at a 35% clip. But then you have to play her honestly because she can get you downhill just like that in a cross match and catch a body at the rim.
32-27 lead here for Indiana, second quarter action. And it'll be Mystics ball side out of bounds as they call.
Star as a pro. Just love to watch her climb as well as a player.
Sutton, Sykes on the cut. Stops on a dime, turns, fades. Doesn't go. Cunningham the rebound.
I like that motion action by Washington though with that weak side. They're trying to get Sykes some touches.
Mitchell 3 doesn't go. Pushing is Sutton up the floor. Citron running the floor. Almost gets it. Edwards, the offensive board, puts it up and in.
Megan's second chance points. Foul. Right there by Sonia Citron, just didn't trickle in like the one earlier. But Aaliyah Edwards did her job and sprinted. You have to treat every shot as if it's going to be a missed shot.
Cunningham has that strip, goes off of her foot. They say it will be Mystics basketball. And a timeout on the floor, 32-29 Fever.
In leadership and the championship acumen that we were discussing earlier, but they have that in place now. Now health has to play a part.
Iriafen rolling off the screen, blocked by Dantis, and it will stay with Washington. 6 seconds on the shot clock for the Mystics to work with.
Well, I like that action again for Washington. Setting and utilizing great screens in the quarter court will free you up for more opportunities than not.
4 seconds, Sykes pulls and hits it.
I hope the bear over there on the sideline was Brittany Sykes is saying something after she knocked down that cold-blooded triple.
Iriafen. Now Sykes, guarded by Mitchell. 10 on the shot clock. Attacking Mitchell, does not go. Iriafen tapped that, unfortunately, into the hands of Dantis. Pushing up the floor. Citron doing a good job deflecting that out of bounds and avoiding running into the chairs.
And re-screen by Howard. And that's what Indiana's going to do. They're going to screen you to death, and you better communicate defensively if you're Washington against it.
Howard comes down with the rebound. They're going to get a loose ball foul called. They call it on Melbourne.
Early in the shot clock, and you better maneuver against it. You better communicate to your teammates. You better get skinny and better be ready to lock in on your closeouts and be on your toes so that you can move and direct.
Olsen off the screen. Comes out to Cunningham. 6 on the shot clock. Inside Howard. Howard backing down Iriafen. 2 seconds. Turns. Hangs. Sykes with the rebound.
Oh, my. Sykes went up to the penthouse for that one. 2 high hands.
Iriafen. And a whistle. And a foul.
Well, that's what happens when you take a hard cut. Right? You got to move. Tried to hold, and that's why she was whistled with that foul.
Iriafen. Now Sykes, 10 on the shot clock. Working off Iriafen. 8 seconds, 6 seconds. Melbourne, 4 seconds. Attacking. Drops that in.
Well, that play was set up by Brittany Sykes. That's a screen assist for Sykes.
Hull was running the floor. And Melbourne is going to be whistled for the foul on the opposite end.
And test her at the rack.
Hull misses the first. The other aspect, Christy, to the free throw situation for Indiana is as much
game reps, too, to get in. And I'm sure Steph White will say that's what's missing because, you know, they definitely have strikers who could.
Hull was able to split the pair on that one. Engsler. Sykes worked off of her.
DHO with Engsler and Sykes.
Iriafen picked up by Dantas.
Got to empty out the weak side to take the help away.
Goes baseline on her. Left that short.
And maybe finish with that left hand. Dantas was looming behind her. Right hand finish on the left side is tough.
Here's Howard. Mitchell works off of her. Goes to her on the roll. Howard drops that in. Howard now up to 10 points in the ballgame.
How long was Howard hanging? Is Tasha Howard getting the job done inside for the Fever.
Dantas strips and tips it to Mitchell. Mitchell down low as Howard left open, and they're going to get her for steps.
Lucky because she was on a whole island sipping a lemonade.